Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz. Now, I don't represent all of Ward 7. I just have a small piece, but a really important piece. I represent a chunk of Norwood. So some of you are in my district, and many of you aren't. Sorry. But I just came because I haven't been to the last couple of meetings. I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to thank the community. We just had an election 2 weeks ago, and the people in my district and the people in the Norwood part of my district were very kind to me. They re-elected me by a 3-to-1 margin. Over, I think it was 76%, something like that, 77. So thank you for that. And we're doing a lot of stuff in the neighborhood. We're doing turkey giveaways, and the councilman will talk about that also. Councilman Eric knows that is. We just did something in Marshall Montefiore the other day. We're getting more turkeys for Marshall Montefiore Community Center. I see it in Norwood News. There was a really nice Veterans Day event at Montefiore Hospital for people on the staff of the hospital, and I was very honored to be asked to be the speaker for that event, and it was really very touching. So many things are going on in the neighborhood. I can talk about a lot of the issues, transportation, housing, like I often do, but I really wanted to talk about something a little more political. And if anybody is upset by what I say, sorry about that. And I'm not going to assume that everybody voted a particular way here, because the vote wasn't unanimous for one candidate. But I know many people are very upset, including myself, by the results of the presidential election. And I just want to mention a couple of things. First, despite what you see in the media, it was actually one of the closest elections we've had in any of our lifetimes. Trump, who won, won by less than 2% of the popular vote. You should know that, because the way they're portraying it is as if he got some kind of huge mandate. And the only elections in modern times that were closer than that to the popular vote were Kennedy and Nixon, and that was way back in 1960, Nixon and Humphrey in 1968, and then Gore and Bush in 2000. Other than that, this was literally the closest election we've had, and I'm looking around the room, and I would say in any of our lifetimes, this was one of the closest. But when they say they have a mandate, you can say that, but it was close. But the problem is, in the United States, if you win by one vote, you win everything. It's not a parliamentary democracy, so they have a lot of power now, and you can see what's been going on in the past week or so with the people that he is proposing to hold the most important positions in the country. And the positions presumably would have to be confirmed by the United States Senate. I personally think that it looks like almost like a skit for Saturday Night Live, the people they're putting up. Think about it for a minute. This Congressman Matt Gaetz, I'm not going to disparage him because you've probably read about it in the paper, but he's named him as the most important law enforcement person in the country. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., an anti-vaxxer. Seriously? And the list goes on. Now, I know I've spoken to so many people in the past 2 weeks, and I can't, it's really, I shouldn't be amazed, but I am amazed by how upset so many people are. And what I tell people is that we've been through this before. I know there's nobody like this guy to compare to, but you win elections, you lose elections. The pendulum goes back and forth, and I have faith that we are going to be able to overcome this. Now, his election has real serious consequences for New York in real dollars and cents terms. Senator Schumer is no longer going to be the Senate Majority Leader. He brought in billions and billions of dollars into our state for the subway system, for every possible area, for environmental cleanup, and he's not going to be the leader of the Senate anymore, so that's going to cost us a lot. Trump didn't win this state, and he presumably can't run for re-election, so he doesn't have an incentive to reward a state that voted against him. So we're going to really have to work hard and double down on some of the stuff that most of us believe in, and survive 4 years. You know, in March, at the end of March, we're supposed to pass the state budget, and having Trump in the White House and the Republican Congress is going to make it much harder for us to deliver on the services that we want to provide people, because they're going to make it harder for us to get the aid we need from the federal government for any one of a number of things, whether it relates to, I don't know, Medicaid, child care, education. I mean, after all, they do want to dismantle the Department of Education. And so our work is going to be that much harder, and that means that our partners inside all of our communities are going to have to really work twice as hard to do the things we have to do. And we have a lot of work to do. I mean, you know that. The board, many of you are members, some of you are not members, but you're all concerned about, you know, housing issues in our community and so many other issues. It's going to be harder, but that doesn't mean we're not up to the challenge. So I just want to say that I'm prepared to do whatever I can in my capacity and work with our other elected officials, community boards, and community organizations and individuals to make sure that we get what we need for our communities. And with that, I think my 2 minutes are almost up, so I'm going to give up the microphone. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.